I can rewrite the story.
Loki, Season 2, Episode 6, just released on Disney Plus, and I gotta say, it blows every other MCU Disney Plus show off the map. It is so crazy what happens. It is so critical to the MCU, and the sacrifice, the friendship, the lesson that's learned. It's crazy. And today I'm going to be just breaking down my main thoughts about this episode. So obviously the episode opens up with Loki trying to rewrite the story. He wants to change how the temporal loom explodes, and he wants to be able to basically restore the TVA and save time. So he goes back. He starts time slipping, trying to figure out exactly what he needs to do. He spends centuries trying to just learn the mechanics of the temporal loom so that he can kind of do this himself. Because the entire time he's worried that they didn't do it soon enough. Because OB said that they waited too long before they actually went and did anything. So for the first couple 10 minutes, we got the funny. It's kind of funny with Loki constantly trying to figure out what to do. There's a little bit of comedy despite the seriousness of the situation. But then Loki realizes the only way to prevent what is happening with the temporal loom is if Sylvie never killed He Who Remains in the first place. So he's got a time slip back there, and he tries to convince Sylvie to not kill He Who Remains. And he actually has a dialogue with He Who Remains, basically where He Who Remains explains that there's no way for Loki to overcome in this obstacle because He Who Remains has seen every outcome. And Loki feels defeated. He doesn't know what he's going to do. He doesn't want to kill Sylvie, which seems to be the only other ultimate to keeping He Who Remains alive. So he decides that he's going to just keep going at what he's trying to do, and he figures there's got to be another way.
I can rewrite the story.
But Loki realizes there's only one thing that he can do, and that's to use himself. And he says, I know what kind of god I need to be.
I know what kind of god I need to be. For you. For all of us.
And that's a lowercase g. This is Norse mythology. But he actually walks out onto the track by himself, and he explodes the temporal loom. He literally uses power, blows it up, and then he starts to kind of carry all the timelines that they become part of his robe. He grows his giant horns, and he just starts to carry all that stuff. And he goes into the Citadel at the end of time, and he has all the timelines around him, and he has to live by himself, all alone at the end of time, but he's able to manage the flow of time and kind of be the replacement for the temporal loom so that everyone can have free will. So Loki's sitting at the end of the time, he's by himself, and this has a lot of different tiebacks for Loki, the character. We saw Loki first in Thor, and he wanted a throne. He thought that was his rightful. He was rightfully earned that. He's a prince, and he was a god, so he believed that that's what he deserved.
You can bring your urgent matter to me. You're king.
And he also believed that he had a glorious purpose. Well, sitting at the end of time on the throne at the end of time achieves both those. He's not only on a throne, but he's also like the ruler over all of the multiverse. Now, it's a really great end for this character, in my opinion. Now, I love Tom Hiddleston as Loki. I think that he does a really great job. I've enjoyed the 14 years that we've had him, the 6 films, the 12 episodes. It's been a great run for Tom Hiddleston. I don't think anyone else could play Loki as good as him. But I think this is a good end for him. I think that him dying in Avengers Infinity War and then kind of coming back in Endgame to do this, I think that is just a really finishes the knot on Endgame, and it kind of transfers us into the multiverse saga. I think Loki's done his part. I would love to see him cameo, to help Thor with some kind of wisdom, or show up in the next couple Avengers films to kind of give some wisdom, since he knows the past, present, and future of what's going to happen in the timelines. I think that would be cool. But I do think that they should really kind of close the chapter on this character. I think that the sacrifice that he's done is immensely. I hope that we see the TVA in the Kang Dynasty. I love the little reference to, if you catch at the end of the episode, we kind of hear Mobius mention that there was a Kang variant, or a He Who Remains variant, on Earth 616 adjacent realm, the quantum realm, Kang the Conqueror, which was handled by themselves. Victor Timely doesn't get a book for a cheat sheet, so it really does tie off Loki really well, and it leaves the MCU the ability to, if they have to, kind of leave Jonathan Majors, if depending on the way that his court case goes, they have the ability to transfer to a different big bad if Kang doesn't work out, because it's to this point where, like, where's Kang? I mean, is he who remains dead? Is he still alive? What happens to all the different Kang variants? I'm not sure. I'm curious to see. But overall, I think that this season really did a great job. I think it was better than the first one in some ways. I think it really was crucial to the upcoming films. I really think that the cast did a great job. The crew did a great job. And they didn't have any reshoots. They knew exactly what they were going to do in this series. And it just felt from start to finish, it felt like they were completely was thought out. Really great plot. I have to give it like an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed the series. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the series and if you'd like to see Tom Hiddleston play Loki again. I know I sure would, but we'll have to see in the future. Thanks for listening today. I hope you have a good rest of your day.